I'm Jenilea. We're here at my home nail studio in Chicago. I'm here with Booksy, and I'm going to show you guys how to do a cloud, ocean, layered kind of look, show you how to get some depth in your nails. So I've already done all of our prep work. So I've done our cuticles, filed, shaped, did my prep and my prime, and I've got some base coat on. I'm using, this is my Leaf Gel Extreme Clear base coat. I've got 2 coats of that down. So before we start to paint anything, I'm actually gonna mix up some color. So the first thing I'm gonna do is take any kind of clear coat. I usually use a base coat. Gelish foundation works. I'm using the Bio Seaweed Gel Stronger Base 1 just because it's the one that I have the most of. And I'm gonna put out a nice big glob of that. So what we're doing basically right now is creating a sheer color. If you have sheer colors, use those. They're easy to find. I know Cocoa's has some really good sheer colors. Obviously Leaf Gel has some really good sheer colors. Those are the brands that I work with the most. But I also have some from Joya Mia that are some nice translucent colors. But for the sake of this, I'm going to show you how to create sheer colors with not sheer colors so that you don't have to like go buying loads and loads of products. You can work with what you've already got. You've probably got a clear and you've probably got some opaque colors. This is just my simple white. This is my favorite white. It's really nice and opaque. It's really good for line work as well. So I'm going to take both of those and I'm just going to take this, I think this is actually a cuticle pusher, but I like to use it as a color scooper. And I'm going to scoop out just a little bit of both of my colors. Like that. Wipe off that extra color and a little bit of white. Whoops, I got a bunch of blue in my white. That's fine. I'll get that out later. So I kind of do this differently every time, so don't worry too much about it. Sometimes I use this little thing to mix them up. Sometimes I use a brush. So I'm going to use this liner brush. This is my Leaf Gel Premium Liner S. Spectacular little detail brush. And I'm going to grab a little, actually kind of quite a bit of that white, smear it into the clear. And I'm going to grab a big glop of that blue and smear it in as well. And then I'm just going to mix them up. Cool. So now I've got this nice light blue color and it's not very sheer because I used a lot of my colors. So I'm going to take some more clear over here. I do kind of want some different levels of sheer. So I've got this one here, which is a lighter blue, and it's just a little, like if I paint that on, that'll be just a little bit sheer. I'm just gonna take some of that now and mix that into the sheer, and that'll be really nice and sheer. There it is. There we go. So you can see that's gonna be really nice and sheer, and it's this really pretty blue. I'm going for this blue because I really always like any kind of ocean, watery sort of sky, cloud kind of looks. That's all my favorite nail aesthetic stuff. So I'm going to take some of that here on my Leaf Gel Premium flat brush. Any flat brush will do, but Leaf Gel is where it's at. Just gonna take that and put down a little layer. So that's actually even a little more sheer than I want. So I'm literally just grabbing some of this other like kind of sheer over here, and I'm just gonna kind of mix that in. You see how I'm getting kind of this streaky, not entirely blended look? I love that. I think it looks really natural. And we always want to be trying to go for as natural and kind of imperfect as we can, because the ocean is natural and imperfect. We're going to do these 3 fingers here just so I can show you a couple of different designs. Painted that base coat on those 3 fingers, and we're just gonna cure that for 30 seconds. Okay, so now that I've got this kind of sheer blue color, what I'm gonna do is go back in with my liner brush, and this is where we're gonna get some of our depth in. So I'm just gonna grab some of this white here, and I'm going to make just any kind of like weird, goofy, wavy, blurby line smoosh. So I'm going to use this kind of rounded-ish gel brush, and I'm going to go into that white with just a tiny bit of gel remover on my brush. My gel remover is 75% alcohol, 25% acetone. I just mix it up in my little thing here. Okay, so I'm just gonna have a little bit of that on my brush, and I'm going to just kind of zhuzh it around. If you've ever done like rose quartz or anything like that, it's exactly that same kind of effect. You want to kind of like keep the line on one side of the line that you drew, kind of keep that solid, and then on the other side, make it nice and blurred. The first time I started using Booksy was after I had started working from home. Because up to that point, I had been just doing like Instagram DMs or text me or Facebook or whatever to book people, and that is so exhausting. And I just got to a point where I had too many clients to be able to organize that. So I went from this, where I had everything all written down and I was getting text messages from people and then an Instagram message, and then I'd forget to write it down because I didn't have my book on me or whatever, to this, where I just get a little notification, so-and-so is waiting your confirmation, and I can confirm whether or not I'm going to take that appointment. And of course I will, Haley, no worries. What I'll do is I'll go to my appointment calendar and I can see Haley booked hers for right up at 3. I can just confirm it. I have an appointment set. Easy.
Perfect.
Could not love it more. Okay. Cool. So we have cured our little smushy white lines, and so this is where the depth comes in. I'm going to go back over it. This is why we're using sheer colors, and sheer colors are so important because that's how you can get those layers. And you want to get kind of a sheer layer down, then you put a opaque layer down and put another sheer layer over that. And that's how it's going to look like there's layers and depth. It's, you know, it's just as simple as it sounds. So I'm taking some of that more sheer blue, and I'm just going to go right back over the cured white smudgy lines. When I'm doing these like smudgy white lines, I try to picture like waves kind of rolling over into sand, and how they kind of do that lumpy kind of weird, you know, this part here is kind of more pushed forward. It looks like there's a wave kind of coming in. So that's kind of the aesthetic preferences lay. So I like to do this kind of more smushy kind of thing. Okie dokie. So go ahead and cure that. So one of my, I feel very fortunate to say, friends and like mentors and inspirations and like people that I am fascinated by and love so much is Astro Wifey. And I've gotten to work with her a lot over the last year or so. And the other day I was doing her nails, and I did an ombre, and she went, "Wow, how are you doing that ombre?" And I kind of showed her my method that I use to do ombre, and she was like, "Wow, okay, I just learned a new way of doing that." She's been doing it for 10 years, and I've been doing nails for like 3 or 4. And so like she saw me doing something. I've been doing it for way less time than her, but I happened to see something different from one of my videos or one of my classes that I've taken. So like you can always be learning more. I think it's really, really important. So I'm gonna, we've cured that next layer of sheerish blue, and I'm gonna go back with my white, and in a different shape, not following over the shape that I did before, I'm going to go in and do another line. Now this one I'm going to make a little bit less prominent. So for this one, I basically, you can see where like half of the nail is kind of whiter on the other side. And I like to kind of overlap the shapes. So you can see I'm literally just shoving it on there, and then just kind of going through and smushing and blurring it. So most of my clients have found me through Instagram, And so I basically just posted on Instagram, hey guys, I've got this link in my profile now. That's how you book. And just entirely good feedback. Okay, so we're going to go back. We've done our 4 layers, blue, white, blue, white. Now we're going to do one last coat of sheer blue. Guys, if you have any questions about what I'm doing or any of the products that I've used or about Booksy or anything, leave them in the comments. And myself or someone from Booksy can get back to you and answer any questions that you have. All right, go ahead and clear that sheer blue. And we're almost done. This technique looks so complex and so deep and cool, and I get so many comments, wow, how did you do that? Wow, that looks so amazing. And it's literally the easiest thing in the world. You do sheer and then you do opaque and you do sheer and opaque. Do it with any color. I like blue and white because I like sky and ocean and light and pretty, and anything that reminds me of Honolulu, I'm here for. Cool. So we are going to do one last white. Now what I've done, I've gone kind of diagonal and vertical with those 2 deeper layers of white. Now what I'm gonna do is actually come horizontal. And I'm gonna do a couple little things because now what I'm gonna do are some kind of cloudy shapes. So I've just got a slightly damp brush that I'm coming in here to do my smushing with. Actually, I'm gonna have a little bit more white. So I'm doing a kind of cloudy look. So what I'm doing is I've kind of drawn like a little thick, smushy mountain, like upside down V kind of shape. And then I'm just literally just sort of tapping it around and making it blurry looking. And I want to you don't want to smush it too much. Like this one I've smushed a little bit too much and it kind of loses all of its definition. If that happens, no worries, I'll just add a little bit more white. All right, so there's our layers, there's our depth. All right, go ahead and put that in there. And now, one thing that I always feel is one of my favorite things for any kind of like art that is abstract and blurry and everything. Every client likes things a little bit differently. So I was sort of ask, how do you feel about gold?
I like gold.
Everybody loves gold. Nobody ever goes, oh no, don't put gold on me. So what I like to do, especially with this design, is I'll take any of my little gold things here, and these things are so easy to attach. If you've never used little charms and stuff, start small and then work your way up to bigger ones. We've got really sort of short nails here. Also, people are afraid of not being able to do art on short nails. You can do this kind of art on any length of nail. If you're using a really small little charm like this, you can just use base coat to attach it. You don't need like diamond glue, gel, whatever. If you're only putting 1 or 2, you can really just use like a base or even sometimes like a top coat to attach it. I'm just gonna use this base coat, just gonna give myself a nice little blob of it here. I like to use this little, like my little detail brush. I'm just gonna grab a nice little bead and I'm just gonna kind of plop it where I want to add my little gem. I kind of like to spread it around just so you've got a nice little space for this little guy to go. I'm going to use the you know, the gel that's still on the brush to pick one of these little guys up. And then I'm going to place him wherever I want. I don't know if it's easy to see, but I'm basically taking my tiny little brush and I'm taking that little pool of base coat that I laid down and I'm kind of dabbing the base coat up onto my little gem. And if you look at it from the side like this, you can kind of see that it's in there. It's like it's swimming around in its little pool of base coat. You don't see any edges and like sharp parts sticking out. And then I'm gonna make sure that she's nice and straight and placed where I want her. That looks nice. Doesn't that look all just like nice and tight? It just kind of makes the whole thing look like it's nail art. Awesome. Yeah, beautiful. Go ahead and cure that. This kind of design, it's natural, it's flowy, it's just kind of like smushy and imperfect. You can put that on any length of nail. And we're just gonna top coat. I love top coating because that clear sort of layer just ties everything together. You get all these little like smushy, the places where you can see some texture, that's all just gonna disappear and it's gonna look beautiful and like it's all just laying together. As I'm top coating over the little gem that I've added, I'm making sure that I'm kind of encapsulating with the top coat as well. The way to check that at the end when it's all cured, I'm just gonna run my finger over the gem and make sure I don't feel any like pokey spots where I feel like it could catch on her hair when she's running her hands through her hair, or on any little threads on her clothes or anything like that. Or if she's just kind of like walking around, some people get really fidgety, and if they feel something kind of there, they'll pick at it just kind of absent-mindedly, and then they'll pick the gemstone off. I'm gonna go ahead and have her cure that right away. Because I did that extra little dab, there's gonna be kind of a pool of top coat, so get that under there because otherwise it's gonna smear everywhere and go all over the place. So we've got our top coat, it's no wipe, so I don't have to wipe anything off. And so this is what I'm doing. I'm checking to make sure that this guy's gonna stay on. I'm running my finger over. I don't feel any sharp. Can you feel any sharp parts or anything that you feel like you're gonna pick at?
No.
Anything like that?
No.
It just feels smooth. It's like there's nothing there. This is my cuticle oil that I've been using from Soap Distillery, Chicago company. Love her. So I just take a tiny bit of that cuticle oil, get it nice and rubbed in. This is one thing that a lot of people get wrong about cuticle oil. They just go, okay, cuticle oil is on, they're moisturized. No, get that in there. Learned that from Naja at the Booksy class that I took, actually. She's like, get your cuticle oil in there, massage it in. So just to round up how I did this, I did, you know, my base coat, and then I mixed together a couple of sheer blues and did a layer of that sheer blue, cured that. Then I smooshed around some white, cured that. Another layer of sheer blue, cured that. Another layer of white, cure that. Another layer of blue. It's basically you're just layering sheer and lines. You can do as many or as little as you want. Sometimes I'll just do one layer just to give a little, you know, fade in the background. Sometimes I'll just overload it and get lots and lots of white on there so it looks completely opaque. So that's it. That's how you do it. I want to thank Booksy for coming to my studio and doing this video with me. If you want to sign up for Booksy and use it and gain all of the benefits that I've talked about today, you can use my referral link, which should be in the caption. And yeah, enjoy. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Jenilea in Chicago, Illinois, and you can book me on Booksy.